The three ninjas are back.
Let's rock!
Teamed with the ultimate ally, Hulk Hogan. Teamwork!
Hey, kids, it's second-class cinema.
Hey!
We're gonna be watching kids' movies the whole month.
Hey!
Let's start the show.
Hello and welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B movie and immediately discuss. I'm Tom. I'm here with Brittany, Eric, and Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
What's up? I'm back.
How long are we waiting to do that one?
All night.
All night.
Since the last time he was here.
Oh, all right. So tonight we watched two movies. So tonight's going to be a double feature. For Kids Movie Month. And tonight was Ninja Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Go
movies were
Ninja,
bad.
go Ninja,
It should have been
go
a triple
ninja,
feature,
go
and we
ninja,
should
go.
have done Sidekicks in both of these movies
No,
one night.
Sidekicks definitely deserves its own episode.
It really does.
It's a very special film. But we watched Three Ninjas, High Noon at megamountain.com.
1998.
1998.
You know, the .com boom is happening. The bubble's about to burst, but not yet.
The dot bomb, maybe. 97 or 98. Xfinity told us both. And we also watched Surf Ninjas, which we'll do on the second half of this episode. But real quick story about Three Ninjas. Earlier today, got into a panic because it wasn't on Amazon, and we couldn't stream it anywhere. And we were trying to find it if it existed on DVD, so I called like 4 places. I called like 2 movie stops, a Newberry
It was
Comics.
like 36 stores.
And I called a lot of places, and no one had it. And it's not a part of the trilogy with the other 3 movies. It's like the bastard movie. And
Understandably so.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And then I even stopped at this other store. They didn't have it. Blah, blah, blah. Ended up being on demand.
Basically, way too much time was spent trying to find this movie.
Productivity was low today.
Yeah. Yeah,
James.
that wasn't good. But it was on Stream Picks for us for free. So
Yeah.
all the panic for nothing. So that's where we watched it. And that'll be the first movie we discuss. And this was, I think, just a general group pick. I think it was mostly to pad out Ninja Night.
It was basically so we don't have to watch Pocket Ninjas. Again.
Again, yeah.
When Tom told me we might not be able to find Three Ninjas, he was like, we're going to have to watch Pocket Ninjas. And I was like, please don't do this.
Pocket Ninjas is bad.
Look up Pocket Ninjas Cyber Virtual Reality Fight, or what the fuck it's called on YouTube, then you'll get a good idea of what that movie's like. It features Robert Z'Dar in virtual reality.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to know the kind of quality this movie is, mine came in like a cardboard sleeve. And I bought it for 50 cents.
Should have saved those 50 cents. Could have
What
gone
a
to the ice cream man.
relief.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have to watch Pocket Ninjas.
We're all pretty glad.
I'm going to think of it the next time you're over.
But this movie was about. So this is the 4th installment of the Three Ninjas series. I'm really only familiar and vaguely so with the first one. I don't know what you guys did with the first Three Ninjas or the rest of the series. Tyler, I know you watched them, right?
I'm a Three Ninjas guy.
So you've seen them all.
I've seen all of them.
Good.
Including this one again now. I'm a big fan of the second one, and I always like the first one. A lot of people hate the first one, but yeah, second's my favorite. First is probably second, and then third and fourth are kind of tied.
Yeah, they're both that bad.
They're just
So we're talking Terminator numbers here.
they're just okay.
Terminator numbers here.
I think
Yeah.
I saw 1 and 2, but 1 is the one that sticks out the most in my mind.
Yeah.
One is probably the most memorable because it has the Home Alone vibe to it, like in some aspects of it, because they set the traps throughout the house and all that stuff, and those 3 goons break into their house. And
I feel like
That
it
kind
was
of
just
thing.
better quality overall.
yeah,
Yeah, this one had none of those things. Didn't even have any of the same actors who play the kids. Tyler, since I'm going to blame this one on you, why don't you go ahead and
Listen,
explain the plot of the movie?
There's no blame to be had. We all had a good time.
I will point fingers.
it's okay. I am like I said, I'm a Three Ninjas fan, so I totally understand if you want to blame it on me. So this movie is about the same 3 ninjas that we've been following through the previous 3, and they go to Magic. Is it Mega Mountain?
Mega Mountain.
Mega Mountain.
Yeah.
All right, so they go to Mega Mountain, and they're going to see Dave Dragon, played by Hulk Hogan. Specifically to see him, who is a martial arts expert who plays a character on television.
Kind of like a Power Rangers type
Right,
show.
exactly. And they're going to specifically see him, and then the amusement park is overtaken by terrorists who...
I'm sorry, I can't hear that without laughing.
who just want the money from the theme park owner. And so the three ninjas have to basically stop the terrorists from getting away with their plan with the help of Dave Dragon.
Yeah.
Die Hard 2 for kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Jim Varney is one of the bad guys.
Jim Varney, yeah.
Beloved
Loni
artist.
Anderson is the main bad guy.
Yeah.
Or bad girl.
Bad girl, yeah. She's the extortion practitioner.
Not the extortionist, everyone. Just to make that clear. In case you were confused.
Oh, panic words, you know? You know what I'm saying? But so this movie obviously was the worst installment. I think it was very unsuccessful. I think it made less than $500,000.
It
obviously took more to
I
make.
actually wrote down opening weekend. It made $150,000, and its total gross in the U.S. was $308,000.
That's yucky.
Youch.
Okay, you clowns, cut the crap.
I mean, I guess on that low note, why don't we bring it back up to high notes and let's talk about successes of the movie. Even though this movie was a commercial failure, does anything stand out as far as, well done?
Jim Varney is fantastic in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, he's excellent. I've never seen him in a non-Ernest situation. And I know Ernest is tied up in a lot of situations.
Oh, yeah.
But he's just kind of like this crazy, like, overly comical dude, which you expect him to be, but he's also a terrorist at the same time. So he's trying to murder kids in public, but at the same time he's taking kids ice cream because it's a kids movie. So like it's very wildly flailing between like this is a hardcore terrorist versus this is just like a silly kids villain. And Jim Varney can pull that off.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people would be able to do that, and he really does it.
Yeah, he was definitely like over the top, wacky kind of guy, and it totally helped the mood of the movie.
I feel like his character in this movie is just one of Ernest's personalities.
Yeah, when he cycles through his psychosis, there's all these different people.
Yeah, this is how Ernest really went to
But
jail.
he always brings it, I feel.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anything else?
Yeah, one thing about the Three Ninjas movies is they always do a very, very good job of picking kids that do know martial arts and that know how to move. And, I was incredibly impressed with the kid that played Tum Tum in this one because of the no-handed cartwheels, the sweet kicks, the side kicks.
He had a lot of sweet kicks.
He was probably the best kick artist of the bunch, right?
Kick practitioner.
Excuse me. Kick practitioner. He was probably the best one of the three ninjas. He probably had the most skill, and he was the youngest.
He was definitely the most likable.
Yeah, he was most likable too. Definitely.
Yeah, I was surprised at how well they all did. Really, I mean, I was expecting like crazy like stunt doubles, even though there were some crazy great stunt doubles in this.
That was my only like real plus.
With stunt doubles?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Even though they were so bad, they were good.
Okay, is that?
I think Rocky got replaced by a 19-year-old at one point. Like,
Oh yeah, easily. Jim Varney got replaced by like a middle-aged Asian man as well, which was fantastic. Is that one of your successes of the movie?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about it.
That's all I have to say.
There were a couple of moments when they had fantastic stunt doubles and stunt double work for that whole Jim Varney sword scene against Rocky. I think he was just trying to kill him in public.
Yeah,
and he's trying to murder this kid in an amusement park, and everyone is just standing around
The whole time.
Everyone
time.
was so oblivious the whole time in this movie.
There are terrorists in this amusement park, and they are wreaking havoc on the police outside, trying to get in, and everyone's just still on rides.
Everyone's just milling around, staring into space like
For the
fucking
sake
idiots.
of being devil's advocate, though.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear it.
So the first time the public sees the Three Ninjas, right, they think it's a show because it's at the Wild Wild West show.
That's
That's
true.
fair enough.
So I'm led to believe that they're constantly being treated as a show.
So you're just running with the logic of what they've laid out in front of us,
Right.
But what bothers me about that is during that Wild West show, like these cowboys obviously knew that this was not a part of the show. These ninjas were never a part of the show, but they were still very well choreographed and just went along with it.
But they contained it, and they never let the crowd know that wasn't something that was planned, right?
That's a good point. They're true showmen.
True.
So they thought it was an isolated incident. They thought they had taken care of
Isolated ninja incident.
it.
I know we're stretching reality a little bit, but okay, there's ninjas in this movie.
All right, no, I mean, based on the logic of the movie, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. I'll buy it.
I'm just saying, like, it was never communicated. No, like other than the gunfire in front of the amusement park.
Yeah.
Within the amusement park, it was like there wasn't an alarm that was going off. There was nothing to notify people
that they should be panicking.
that they should be freaking out.
Yeah,
Except for the firefight going on.
Like I said,
of
it
the
was at
building.
the very, very front, right?
All right.
So all those people were freaking out, but we don't know what the people inside can see and hear. We have no idea about that.
That's true.
Am I right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Plus,
I
if you
guess.
heard wacky noises, you'd probably just assume it was something like crazy.
You're at an amusement park. I
Yeah.
mean,
Firecrackers,
there's
fireworks.
There's
Fire.
shows with guns all the time.
I also liked that this movie went full on amusement park. Like, it was like, we're shooting in an amusement park, so guess what? We're going to do everything in an amusement park.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of scenes where, you know, the bad guys are chasing, you know, the little kid through a bunch of, like, rides or, like, stupid carnival games. And they're playing all the, like, they're throwing darts at bad guys and hitting them with stupid baseballs. It was really dumb. Darts.
So true.
Oh, it was silly, but I'm glad they did it because I feel like I'd be disappointed if they didn't.
Yeah, they took advantage of the scenery.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think a movie like Sudden Death, like, takes place in a hockey rink, and most of the time it's just, like, in these weird construction areas.
Yeah.
Like, that's a movie that didn't take advantage of its setting.
Totally agree.
I actually thought Loni Anderson did a pretty reasonable job as a villain.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought she was the worst.
I didn't think she was that bad. I thought that obviously they probably could have picked somebody better, but you know, why not get a name for cheap? I'm sure she wasn't that expensive at the time.
True.
Yeah.
And she had this, like, she was the better half of her and Hulk Hogan. Like they had like an interesting chemistry, and Hulk just could not sustain his. I mean, he can speak in the ring really well. We know this.
He was
yeah.
just like super cheesy,
but
like
he was
smiling.
just not good in this film. So
I loved him anyway.
I'm glad to hear that.
she kind of created chemistry between the two of them, which I thought was really cool. But
Definitely.
that's all relative. So
Yeah, I think Hulk Hogan being in this movie was probably. I mean, they stuck him. He had a big role in the movie, but he wasn't in it a lot. And they stuck him on the cover. And the expectation is it's three ninjas plus Hulk Hogan kicking some ass.
Yeah.
And it's mostly Hulk Hogan falling asleep.
But the cover is totally misleading, though, because, like you mentioned, it totally makes him look like the villain.
I totally was expecting Hulk Hogan to be this crazy antagonist on, like, this mystical mountain. Mega mountain, if you will.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed by what the true reality was, where Hulk Hogan led the Power Rangers to true victory against terrorists as he fell asleep.
Quote, unquote, hero
Several
who
times.
falls asleep.
I guess we can move on to failures if we don't have any more successes.
Yeah.
I mean, because the movie overall, really wasn't. It did what it had to do, but what did it do wrong?
The sound quality was horrendous.
Horrendous.
Or rather, like I guess the balancing of the volume. I don't know if there's a good technical term for that.
they didn't EQ it.
Yeah, well, I guess it was just it wasn't leveled right. I mean,
Yeah.
the dialogue was way low, the music was way high. It made it difficult watching. I don't know if that's Xfinity fucking with shit, or
That's true. It could be that.
you know what I mean. But it was this was like the loudest thing we've ever had to put on. Like Party Crasher was terrible for its mumbling dialogue. These people were speaking and we couldn't even hear them, so
We really couldn't.
it was pretty bad.
One thing that it could have been, though, is it may not have been Xfinity because we could hear the grandfather fine at every volume.
That's true.
Because he knows how to project.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
Like me.
It's Victor Wong, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Victor
Yeah.
Wong, which was
His
His
last
final
movie.
film.
I was like,
final
I hope
film.
this wasn't his last movie because that's sad. And then I looked it up and it was.
yeah. But I guess if you're gonna be in a kids movie, it's almost just like okay.
Yeah.
You know
This
what I
will
mean?
pay for the funeral.
Oh
The acting in this movie was really bad.
yes.
Like,
Atrocious.
really, really poor.
I mean, at what point does acting for children and acting poorly, like, cross?
Not even near this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are so many good examples of really great child acting, right? Like Home Alone. What kid is not great at acting in those movies? Like,
Yeah, that's very true.
you know what I mean? I mean, you can't entirely hold it against them because they probably didn't have the best director. They probably didn't have obviously the most seasoned actors were Jim Varney and Loni Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
There had to have been more people that auditioned for that movie that would have been better selections.
But they also were very skilled in martial arts. So to find a child who was both very skilled and had high acting ability was probably slimmer
But
than...
were they very skilled? Because
They seemed relatively
there was a whole
skilled.
lot of body double going on.
I saw every one of these kids do something legit at one point or another.
All right, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I assume the body double, stunt double stuff was more for like safety purposes.
Yeah. Or maybe
Where
they-
there was like swords being slung around, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought this movie failed at, well, I guess it's just not the movie, but Colt and his stupid face and his stupid hair and his stupid sounds that came out of his mouth. I hated this kid.
Hated him so
I
much.
just-
God.
Sweet lisp.
Oh,
Can I piggyback on that? Because I have a large failure based off of that
That's,
minuscule failure.
go for it. Go
All
for
right,
it.
so Three Ninjas does have a tradition. Like they have traditions they plug in throughout, right? Like, so they always have Rocky loves so and so. They always
Have Tum Tum eating.
have Tum Tum eating, and they always have them saying. Colt and Rocky always like looking back at Tum Tum and saying Tum Tum. They didn't do that at all in this movie. Colt
we
is
sure
always
missed
good
out.
looking. Colt is always baby blue eyes, always good looking. They always wear the same color robes and stuff like that, and they're very much like the Power Rangers, where they wear the same colors throughout.
Oh, yeah.
and they didn't do any
Like
of
their
that.
signature color.
And that was like I must have forgot about that when I was a kid. Because that was always something that I looked forward to, and they didn't
Yeah.
do any of that.
Do you
And that
think-
was really frustrating.
Was it purposefully abandoned, or do you think that they just decided that was too much of a detail to worry about?
This is the third detail, the third sequel. The director doesn't know anything and doesn't give a shit.
Also, it's at an amusement park. Like, why would they be wearing like monochromatic outfits?
Because it's
Well, they don't have
Three
to
Ninjas
wear
movie.
they don't have to wear their
But just like the
robes,
color,
but
like
wear,
a sweet shirt or
yeah,
something.
wear the color.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
Power
true.
Rangers, like on the off screen, always like outside of the action scenes, they always wore their colors, even
Yeah.
if it was like more casually oriented.
exactly. How else are we supposed to know which color Ranger they were?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 7-year-old and I have ADD.
I
And
need to-
I need to know which one is which.
Yeah, you need to help me understand who's who.
Yeah.
I just
think
rolled
that's-
that Colt's fucking mullet makes me want to die.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
It was literally the worst mullet ever.
It was a pony mullet.
From the ears forward, it was a bowl cut. From the ears back, it was a fucking mullet, and it was the worst goddamn haircut.
It was disgusting in the front and disgusting in the back.
and then he told someone to get a haircut.
Yeah, that was
How the fuck are you going to get away with that, Colt?
Dude, I know. I was
With
like,
your horse head.
that is audacious of you.
Oh my god. So anything else where this movie sucked?
The intimidation that Loni Anderson's character Medusa would use against the FBI and the cops, like flipping the ride over 17 times. I mean, these people came to an amusement park to ride on the rides. I don't think that you're going to intimidate anybody.
No, you heard the engineer. They could get nauseous or they could even die.
They were like, turn it up 20%.
Yep.
Like 20%. Oh, jeez.
Everyone's just like,
Playing with fire now.
The only one that I was buying was the upside down roller coaster part where she could have easily unhitched their harness and they would have fallen to their deaths.
Certain death.
I did appreciate, though, that this whole thing ended up being Die Hard for kids, though.
yeah.
Where instead of like them crashing in the airplane, they were just fucking with the rides. I feel like if I was a kid and I was watching this and then later as an adult I saw Die Hard, I'd be like, wait a minute.
Hey.
Die Hard ripped off the Three Ninjas.
Now, if we were kids, do you think we would have? At what age would this movie have been appropriate for you to watch it?
Like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's like I think there's a very small like window for a movie like this to be truly entertaining. like
I mean-
based upon age, and I think it would be like 6 to 8 max, maybe.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've liked ninjas at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. But there's a certain point where I'm like, just because you throw ninja in the title doesn't mean I'm going to like it. And I think that age would have been like 8 for me.
All right.
Low hanging fruit.
What about you, Tyler? When did you watch the first one, and then when did this one come into your life?
Well, this one came into my life when I was 10. I watched the first Three Ninjas when I was 5, probably.
Yeah, that sounds
Because
about
it came out
92?
in like 92. I was 4 at the time, so I probably would have given it a couple years.
Yeah.
But I do recall watching 1 and 2 almost back to back, and then 3 was kind of later on. So maybe that's why I like the first 2 more than I like the next 2.
Oh yeah.
But this one, it took a while. Like I was probably I didn't see it in theaters. I was probably 12 when I saw this one, and I again obviously didn't like it that much when I first saw it.
Let's say this is something we were talking about too. Like this movie wasn't made for like 6-year-olds in 1998. It felt like, it was trying to be still going after its original audience, which was way too old to enjoy
Like
it.
10 to 12-year-olds.
Yeah, like this is like 12-year-olds now, 12, 13-year-olds watched and liked your first movie, and then I feel like they tried to make a movie for them again. This movie had I felt like really like Nickelodeon moments.
Yeah.
On that, like I said earlier, it probably would have been better if they had rebooted with this one. If they had rebooted the entire Three Ninjas, even if they used the same concept, but just the same concept at the amusement park. If they just had started the stories over, like if you were just learning about Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum, and you had never learned about them prior to this, and you had the grandfather aspect of it more so, it probably would have been a little bit more successful. But it was targeting people like me that was 10 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to appreciate it anymore because I'm not into ninjas anymore,
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
just
even a
banking on
Hogan.
you going to see it and or liking it because you liked the first 2.
Because I like the first few, so.
Oh, yeah, what's at the movies this weekend? Three Ninjas. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
I feel like the grandfather was a way bigger part in the other ones.
Way bigger.
He was just like a brief moment in this.
Well, I mean, I guess he only had a little bit of screen time again, but he had a pretty big role in preparing them for the final battle. His role was pretty integral in the movie.
Thank God they had that huge obstacle course set up.
The American Ninja Warrior.
Oops, the lights are
qualifying.
out. You guys suck.
And on top of a little bit of time travel here, do you think kids now would like this movie? Kids born in 2008.
I sincerely doubt they would understand the magic of it. Even, no.
The little magic.
The little magic that this has, I don't think they would be like, what the fuck is that?
Well, do you think maybe it could be for maybe a really young kid who
They'd have to
maybe.
be 5 again.
Yeah,
Like 5
they
or
would have
6.
to. They'd have to be
4
5 or
even.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is an age where anyone could enjoy something like this because I feel like you don't have the thought process at that age to really dissect something like this and realize how silly it is.
Yeah, I mean the technology is like barf, So I feel like kids who had any sort of life in their being 7, 8 years old would know what a tablet is, know what an iPhone is, and they're gonna see her and her stupid hacking skills, one of the girls, and it's just gonna barf. This is barf.
Yeah.
And also,
Buzz your movie.
Buzz your tech, woof.
and this is very, so much of its time. The girls carrying around pogs and slammers that are just, disguised smoke grenades.
They were definitely
Yo-yos.
slammers, but she was
yeah.
it's a smoke grenade. No, bitch, it's a gold slammer.
Yo-yo and pogs, and that was great.
And, 1998
Remote
for
control
pogs. That was
helicopter.
even...
Right? How did she smuggle that into the park in her fanny pack? She was a total Alex Mack ripoff, by the way.
Oh, totally. Oh my god. Hat for
She
hat.
had the hat and the stray blonde hair and the overalls and the plaid shirt
stripe,
tied around
yep.
the waist. I was like, oh my god.
And I feel like they tried to push her onto Colt,
Yeah.
but they never really delivered on it.
They never did anything
Yeah.
with it.
And like I was like, yeah, Colt deserves a girl. Like not necessarily this version of Colt,
Definitely not.
but
Not until he goes to the barber.
but Colt does deserve a girl, and they just never delivered on it. And I thought that was kind of confusing because they kept hinting at it.
Yeah, they did. Well, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
What a waste of time. This movie take any risks?
Took a risk with all of the crotch shots
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that they had.
Dude, both of these movies had weird crotch things going on.
Yeah, like this one had the really dangerous shot of the kid peeing his pants.
Oh yeah,
When,
That was weird.
yeah, that was a little too far. Like one of the bad guys made a kid urinate.
Yeah,
By yelling at him really loud.
Yeah.
That kid was so annoying, though. He
Yeah.
totally deserved
it
it.
was
He was
Uggs, Champ on
Cellini's
the
younger
Water,
brother.
right?
No, Ugg didn't do the yelling. It was
Harry
Rocky's
Knowles.
like blonde friend who was
Harry
like
Knowles.
scamming on his girlfriend.
Yelled at Cellini's younger brother, and he peed his pants.
yeah. Ugg from Salute Your Shorts was one of the goons in this movie too. He was great. He was great.
He was
really
pretty good, yeah.
He was so wacky. He's like a perfect actor for kids. You know that he's a goofball.
He was one of like 3 recognizable faces.
Yeah. So I guess if that's it for risks, we want to talk about some favorite parts.
Oh, can I just say that under my risk section, I just wrote down our Italian food order that we ended up calling it.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, that was a risk.
That is a risk.
You mean your sauceless parm?
That was
A terrible
that was
chicken
a risk.
parm. That was a huge risk that I will never take again.
Those spicy Italian meatballs were a risk. Let me tell you.
Yeah, risk for Eric over here with the fan.
Yeah.
Fatfoot Films' newest comedy, How I Dumped My Ex-Boyfriend's Body, is now available on DVD and Blu-ray, exclusively at fatfootfilms.com. Critics are calling this raunchy comedy brilliant, hilariously dark, and instant classic. The How I Dumped My Ex-Boyfriend's Body DVD and Blu-ray is jam-packed with hours of bonus features. This exclusive offer is only available at fatfootfilms.com. Get your copy today.
So I guess let's talk about some key moments that we really enjoyed. Anyone have any favorite parts?
Dave Dragon theme song.
Oh yeah.
Dave Dragon, go, Dave Dragon. Dave Dragon, go. That's it.
I like Dave Dragon. I thought he's
He was a good character.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan in a bunny suit. It was great. for me.
no. See, that's annoying because
Oh no, that's
annoying.
amazing.
it's that Italian food. No, so everything leading up till when he takes the bunny mask off after he uses it as a mask to punch somebody in the face, right? He takes off his thing, and then they make a terrible bunny joke.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about. There's nothing before this, nothing after this. I'm just talking about the pure, simple magic of Hulk Hogan in a bunny suit.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't know. I wish I could have enjoyed that moment a little more.
Also, when the bad guys were infiltrating the amusement park at the beginning, when they were riding ski-doos,
The Sea-Doos just went underwater.
it turned into like those little like propeller scuba
yeah.
things. I was like, what is happening?
It was a total Die Hard infiltration. It was awesome.
It was so funny.
One of my favorite parts was towards the end, and Dave Dragon.
Yeah.
Dave Dragon, you'll get caught up in the
Dave Dragon. He has like a pair of nunchucks or whatever, and oh
my God.
he's like on something or other, and he sees this this line, this very convenient sort of cord in the sky.
He's on like a roller coaster, right?
Is it a roller coaster?
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah,
roller
he was in the
coaster,
middle
yeah.
of the roller coaster. That's where they were holding him hostage.
That's right.
Yeah.
They had him in the middle of the roller coaster, but still magical cord leading exactly to where he needs to go. He takes his nunchucks and he swings them over the cord, and he slides down it like a zip line. It cuts to a wide shot, and it's now an actual zip line.
And it's not Hulk
and
Hogan.
it's not Hulk Hogan. It's a dude hiding behind his own bicep. Like, it was perfect stunt double work.
Hulk did no stunts in this movie.
No, he was probably banged up. That's just probably his banged up.
He's
side.
always banged up.
I read that he wore a wig in this movie.
He did.
Yeah, he took it off.
But no, I was reading about it like earlier, and they were talking, like making a big deal about it, like you weren't supposed to know about it.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Unless, like, the rest of his hair was also...
Well, I took off a wig to reveal another wig.
with, like, a bald cap.
I'm convinced, right? I'm convinced that if they had him be bald throughout, he would have been a villain.
Yeah,
I can buy that.
But because they gave him the wig, he had to be a hero.
Yeah, I buy that.
So
Give him a hero's haircut.
yeah,
Buy it.
that makes sense.
Any other favorite parts?
I had one
What is it?
And I'm surprised none of you guys said this one, but the overall bomb aspect of it, and then how they tie it to.
Oh my God!
They take like 3 minutes tying it to the fire extinguishers.
So excruciating.
But there's only a minute left, and then they can't get the fire extinguishers to, go. Mm-hmm. Or was it scuba gear? I can't remember.
I think it was oxygen tanks, and they were trying to like bang the
Bust
gauges
the
off
cap
so they
off
would
of
go
it.
like flying.
And it went like 8 miles, 10 miles off the coast, and it destroyed the boat at the end. Like, that was just perfect. It was perfectly.
It was incredibly.
It made no sense at all.
That's the point, right? It perfectly ended this movie. And you know what I love about Three Ninja movies? The Three Ninjas never actually win. It's always like something else that just happens to happen.
Like an adult takes care of it.
Yeah, an adult takes care of it. And
because Dave was the one who came and hit the oxygen tanks to finally let the oxygen go.
And then at the end, they're like getting interviewed by the news, and they're like, "No, Dave Dragon's the real hero." We're like, "I'm glad you're honest. You're totally right because you guys didn't do anything."
How humble.
Wait. But Dave Dragon spent most of this movie asleep or tied up.
I was just say that
Nobody
who
really
was
did
the hero?
anything.
he
This
spent most of
problem
his
just-
time getting his ass beat by Loni Anderson.
Yeah. You know who the heroes are? The cops at the front of the building that were getting shot at.
I was gonna say this problem just worked itself out. Like nobody did anything.
and no one gave the cops any credit. Like, it was these kids. No, wait, it was this guy.
Fuck the police.
Cops didn't do shit. They didn't arrest anybody or anything. Nothing out there.
Man,
Any other favorite parts? Anything like that?
I am spent.
I did catch one awesome 90s burn where I think it was the Three Ninjas talking to like the other group of teenagers that were kind of dicks. And I think Colt was talking to one of them. He was like, "Yeah, nice face." And then Tum Tum just goes, "Yeah, nice face. Not." I'm like, "Yeah, you got it, Tum Tum." Fucking sick 90s burn 6-year-old.
Oh, nice. Barely squeezed it into the 90s, but they got it in there.
Yeah, I feel like both of the little kids in the movies that we watched were like the ones that had the best slams.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some slams written down for Surf Ninjas.
All right. Are we going to rate it now?
Let's rate it.
So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
Yeah,
fuck
I'm going to
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck yeah!
All right. Since we are abiding by the fudge rating system, we're not going to swear. Not for the children. And we can start with whoever wants to volunteer.
I'll go.
All right, Eric, let's go.
I'm going to go with a fudge yes.
All right.
This is not a good movie in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But we had a great time watching it. Mm-hmm. And the absurd premise really plays a lot in its favor. The fact that basically the entire plot is Die Hard 2 in an amusement park for kids makes it, frankly, fascinating to me. I really appreciated that.
For sure. Anyone else?
I will give it a fudge off.
Okay. That's good.
Applied directly to the forehead.
Just because we had more fun making fun of it than we actually did like enjoying it for its own sake. I didn't really particularly enjoy it. I wouldn't recommend anyone watch it.
This is a good group of friends movie.
Yeah, if you're
don't
gonna watch it
by
with a bunch
yourself.
of drunk assholes, then you will probably have fun. But
Yeah, I feel like this is the kind of movie that someone would show their friends. Like, I used to watch this when I was a kid, and now it's really bad.
look how bad.
Look
it
how
is
bad
now.
it is now. You know?
Yeah, it was laughably bad, so I can't give it like a full fudge you for that.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Eric, too, it's completely absurd, right? So it sets a precedent of being just over the top. And once you suspend your disbelief and just go along for the
I
ride.
remember saying that when they were in the like Western town thing, and he jumped like 30 feet into the air.
Oh my God.
That
Sick reverse
balcony.
tear.
And I was like, all right, we're suspending all disbelief, I see.
Ninja training, Brittany.
Yeah,
How else are you going to complete the Ninja Warrior obstacle course?
exactly.
American.
Actually, they did refer to themselves as Ninja Warriors, and they are American, so just so we all know.
Slam!
I'm gonna give it a fudge meh.
Fudge man.
Good call.
Primarily because I'll give it credit because it didn't ruin Three Ninjas for me now, right?
Well, that's good.
Because I've watched the first one semi-recently. It's probably been a while since I watched the second and third. And this is the first time I've watched this since I was right around when I was 12. So it didn't ruin it for me, and it didn't exceed what I thought of it then. So it was what I expected.
Yeah.
Nothing less, nothing more.
All right. I buy that. I guess I will give this movie a fudge off. I'm just gonna go fudge off. I'm not gonna try to do anything clever.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It was a fun time. It was. I would not recommend it, but it was a good time. Get yourself inebriated in some fashion, and you can enjoy. If you like Hulk Hogan, you know what I mean. If you like Jim Varn, if you like anyone who's in this, that might be a good reason for you to just throw it on and waste some time. It's kind of fun.
Do not have two people looking all over town for this movie.
Yeah.
Don't spend your entire Friday afternoon looking for a copy of this.
Yeah, please don't.
Check on demand first.
I even went to the store. I asked them if they had any VHS tapes, and they're like, "Yeah, they're in a box like way back in the corner." And I was like, "I can help you dig them out if you want, you know." And they weren't buying it. I was willing to just rifle through
to
a
work
box
at
of
the
VHS
store for 10 minutes.
so I could see if this movie was there, and it was on demand the whole time.
And by the way, do you guys still choose pizzas?
Any final thoughts on this movie?
Nah.
No. I have guy who was a hacky sack.
Oh, what about the German guy?
Oh yeah,
we didn't touch on the German ninja guy.
Yeah, there was a German ninja who was also a terrorist, but he was also a cowboy at one point.
Yeah, he was
just
like
want
the full
to-
trifecta.
Yeah,
What?
I just want to bring this up now because we have a similar situation happening in Surf Ninjas.
I was going to say, are you sure you're talking about the right movie?
Positive.
and there was also, I just want to get this on the table, ninjas wearing night vision goggles trying to kill children at an amusement park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kids beat him up with their eyes closed.
Yeah. Well,
Ninja training.
exactly.
Much
Thank
better
God for
ninjas.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're done with Three Ninjas.
Forever.
High noon at
On
Mega
to
Mountain.
the next one.
On to the next, which will be Surf Ninjas.
For Colonel Chi, you are the living threat to his rule. To me, you are the living prophecy. You will free our country.
Don't you have to drive to do that? Man, I really want to drive.
Listen, we don't want to free anything, Tonto.
So now we move on to Eric's pick in this double feature, which is Surf Ninjas. Why did you pick Surf Ninjas?
Surf Ninjas has been requested by a couple of fans.
Yeah.
One is Ryan Price of Chicago, Illinois. I
Oh,
think
nice.
we had another recommender, but I can't remember quite who.
My friend Rachel Globe said we should watch
That's
this.
right. So that's the reason I picked this. I'd seen a couple of clips of it. It looked pretty funny, so I figured, why not? Mm-hmm. I think I was sold in the idea that it had Leslie Nielsen as a samurai with a robot face and a robot arm with a machine gun.
Turns
Yeah.
out better in theory.
Better in theory, not so much in execution.
All right, so what's it about?
Well, this movie takes place in Los Angeles, I believe, surrounding these two surfer bros, little bros, Johnny and Adam, probably the ages of like 16 and 11, I think.
Yeah, probably.
As it turns out, they are the long-lost princes of a East Asian country called Patusan. Leslie Nielsen has taken over this country as some sort of warlord dictator, and he's oppressing the people.
I just imagine really Leslie Nielsen doing this. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, no, this is a biography.
Yeah.
And he wants to have the long-lost princes, Johnny and Adam, killed so that they don't lead a revolt, as is their destiny. So assassins come to take out the kids, but they are protected by the uncle of those kids named Zatch, who is a cool ninja guy with an eye patch. He explains to them their destiny. They travel to Patusan along with their annoying friend Iggy, played by Rob Schneider. And Tone Loc, yeah. He's really
All right.
cool. They travel to Patusan and start a rebellion against Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They're
pretty
also
good.
surfers.
That's
About
pretty
it.
good. That's a good job.
Thank you.
Now, I've never watched this movie. I actually didn't know of its existence until I was an adult. I didn't even know it happened when it happened.
Yeah, me neither.
Which it happened in 1993. So 1 year after the first Three Ninjas, probably in the ninja boom, I must say. It was
Oh, wow.
probably 92, 93.
Yes.
And who had seen this movie before?
I saw it
I've never seen it.
You had seen it?
probably when I was like 7 or 8.
7 or 8, and then we had not, including...
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
Okay.
So nobody had seen it but me?
No, I guess
Oh.
not. Interesting.
Look
I
who's the
remember really
expert.
enjoying it as a kid.
Yeah.
Didn't hold up quite as well, but I didn't hate it
All right.
as much as Tom did.
Tom was hating this much more than I was expecting him to.
I did too. So I guess where do we want to start with this one?
Let's go with successes. We'll go standard.
Let's do standard. All right.
Standard.
Standard approach. Successes. What did it do right?
Music.
The music was fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. This music was ripping.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. It sounded like Satriani was ripping it away.
Yeah, just completely awesome, like butt hair metal rock, like completely all out,
Surfer
ridiculously
rock.
over the top, like guitar peels, like and people getting kicked, kind of sidekicky in a little bit.
Oh no, nothing can touch the amount of over the top gnarly guitar.
There's still lots of like whittledoos and diddles.
Oh, dude, brittle
and
deuce.
boings.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Music was a definite plus.
Yeah, and I appreciate it unironically. Like as ridiculous and over the top as it is, it's genuinely really good, and it really fits the vibe of the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think actually, it's funny. So I walk away from both of these movies, and I had a better time watching Three Ninjas. But I felt like Surf Ninjas was a better movie.
Yeah, it kind of falls in like, because for a while there we were going like with the no, like if you go on IMDb and a movie is rated between a 3 and like a 6, that means it's going to be really crappy to watch because it's not terrible and it's not good either.
Yeah.
we went by that rule for a while, and I think this falls in that range.
I agree.
I think that's the problem with it. It's just kind of okay.
Yeah,
And it's got faults that make it a chore to watch.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Another plus, there was ninjas immediately.
Yes. Yeah, I actually forgot to mention that as a failure for me in Three Ninjas, but I won't bother. But
Right off the bat.
I mean, I don't want to keep going back to Three Ninjas. I thought that they were fine with their ninjas. I thought both movies had enough ninja for me.
See,
I
I
thought
felt
my
like
ninja
the
quota-
Three Ninjas were forced. Like there didn't need to be any ninjas in it.
Our characters were ninjas.
Were they?
were they?
They were child ninjas.
Were they?
Yeah, I think that's well established with the first concourse.
First scene,
Listen,
yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm going to see this from
Oh, so now any kid who does karate is a ninja.
Okay. I'm going to take
Yeah.
this. We've gone to 8-year-old Tommy's perspective.
Yeah.
This is 8-year-old Eric's perspective.
Okay.
I did not. Those kids were not ninjas. They didn't have cool face masks. They didn't have cool swords. Therefore, not ninja.
I
Well,
understand.
they did
had
in the
them.
first 3. They just another thing that they
Fair
did
enough.
not
God
continue.
damn it.
Fair enough.
In the 4th was the cool masks and stuff. But if it wasn't at an amusement park, I guarantee you that they would have had masks and they would have had weapons.
But I thought the fights in Surf Ninjas was way better.
They were
definitely
cool.
They were
better.
definitely
They
better,
were
yeah.
way sweet.
Yeah.
I think that's where I would have come down as 8-year-old Eric, thinking that Surf Ninjas was way better because
Yeah.
it had like really cool, well, kind of Mortal Kombat-ish fight scenes. Like,
The choreography was well done, well
Excellent.
executed.
It's also the product
Believable.
of the actors, though. We know Eddie Reyes
True.
Sr. and Eddie Reyes Jr. are really, really good martial artists.
Who is the senior?
Senior was
Was his uncle, yeah.
Satch?
yeah.
That's crazy. That's
That's
his real life
His
dad?
daddy-o, yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy, guys.
The old man.
Yep.
Junior and the old man.
Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of positives
That's
for that movie.
actually, yeah, those are both things.
The choreography, the production value, all that stuff was okay. I mean, Tone Loc.
He was cool, but he didn't get much screen time.
Tone Loc would have been way better if they had just used him. They didn't use him enough. If they'd used him just twice as much,
Yeah.
this movie definitely would have been more digestible.
And I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did like how villainous the ninjas were. Not necessarily Leslie Nielsen, because you weren't really feeling like what he was telling these guys what to do at all. But the ninjas were like super invasive and super everywhere,
And like violent.
They were violent.
I felt like there was like a disconnect between like them and Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even
They were-
really need to be involved.
They were truly bad guys, and he didn't feel like a real bad guy.
Yeah, he was like a jokey, gimmicky bad guy.
Do you think he was an afterthought, Leslie Nielsen's character? They think they had this whole movie and then we're like, we need one of these guys now.
Maybe.
Well, they still had to go in with a big bad guy, right? Like every
Yeah, he's
movie
the
like
the
this-
Shredder.
every movie like this needs a big villain, and I
Boss
would be
level.
surprised if he was an afterthought.
Yeah, I feel like the movie would have been a lot better if they played that character straight instead of making him a big goofball.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess as soon as they said, "Hey, we got Leslie Nielsen," maybe there's a rewrite going on.
Yeah, maybe
where
that's
they,
what happened.
retrofitted it to Leslie Nielsen. But the problem with that is Leslie Nielsen is a really strong comedic actor when he is not written comedically.
Yeah.
The reason he's so funny in Airplane is that he is just playing the role completely straight around everything that's going bananas.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason he's good. When he intentionally acts silly, you end up with the shit like where he's in the scary movies. Like, it's not funny.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just an old man delivering lines that he doesn't understand.
Yeah, his character in this movie was like hokey and not intimidating, and
no,
it was
like
just
at
silly.
all. No. At all.
He did get stepped on by an elephant, which I appreciated.
That's how he got his robot face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, initially I had the cast down as a plus until Rob Schneider started talking, and then I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Mostly just the Reyes's and
that young kid was fine.
Yeah, he was actually
that
really
little
good.
kid was cool.
Yeah.
He delivered sarcasm in a way that I feel like child actors usually can't.
Yeah.
And he had some excellent like slam delivery.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't really have much as far as positives go for this movie. All things considered, does anyone else have anything else?
No.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, let's transition here.
Failures?
Yeah.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
I put redheaded Rob Schneider
He
more
was
specifically.
Painfully unfunny.
Painful.
Like I don't know what people saw in Rob Schneider in the 90s. I really don't understand it.
He was the literal wink wink nudge nudge of this movie.
Yeah.
He broke the fourth wall. Like I don't understand why they did any of it.
I don't hate Rob Schneider like at all. I don't hate him.
I don't either. I don't either at all.
Like, and we talked about this. Home Alone 2 was the year before this movie came out, and he was excellent in Home Alone 2. I loved his character in Home Alone 2. Mm-hmm. And this just like, I feel like they did not give him lines. He came up with them himself.
Really?
On the spot.
That would
On the
make
spot.
sense, really. Yeah.
Ooh,
this
they
feels
were
like something
real
that
bad.
Rob Schneider would find funny.
As we were watching it, I was like, this character is so absolutely unnecessary. Nothing happened because of him. Like, they could have just omitted him completely, and nothing would have changed in this movie.
It would have been better, actually.
It would have
Yeah, it
been
would've been.
much better
Because
we could have focused on
He
our main
was
characters.
supposed to be like the comedic relief, but
Right.
like everyone else was doing a perfectly fine job of like
being
comedically
funny.
carrying this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, from a plot perspective, he's kind of like the outsider character. So you could consider him maybe the fish out of water. You're supposed to relate to him as the audience. But I mean, you also have the Tone Loc character, which does the same thing, but he is like supremely far more comedically oriented around. Like his delivery is fantastic and on point.
Yeah.
Dialed
He's-
back.
What's that?
He was dialed back. Like,
Yeah.
he was a dialed back version of Rob Schneider's character. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And
it
it
wasn't
worked.
so, over the top and trying to take over
Moronic.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just moronic and like not in a funny way. And I mean, and for this movie, I don't feel like the target audience is as young as like 7. I feel like it's probably closer to 10.
10 to 12. I would
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like 12ish.
And that, I mean, he was just straight up stupid. I would have been annoyed, I think, with him.
Yeah.
If I saw this when I was like 9, which I probably did, like 8, then I probably would have thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And I did when I was a kid.
I
just thought this movie was cool.
I agree. I could definitely see that. I probably would have enjoyed it myself.
I also wrote that he's 35. He seems like way older than everyone else in this movie.
Dude, he was complaining about how he didn't do his homework or something. We're like,
Yeah,
dude,
we're like,
you're
dude,
fucking
you-
30.
Yeah. Go back to Saturday Night Live, dude.
Oh my god, man.
Don't front.
That's why he got away with playing the German Nazi
Oh my God.
Scottish guy
Yeah,
in the
that's-
wheelchair.
Yeah, brief thing to touch upon. Whereas Three Ninjas had a German ninja terrorist as cowboys, this had Rob Schneider as a Hawaiian Scottish Hitler in a wheelchair with a broken leg. And I don't know if that's funny or not. That's
Yes.
the problem. I should think that's really funny right off the bat, and I don't know if it's funny.
Is it because Rob Schneider's name is attached to it?
Got a
Yeah, I
sour
think it might
taste
be.
in your mouth.
Well, see, I like Rob Schneider. I feel like as a person, I watch.
He gets a bad rap.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah.
I feel like he's better than what he gets credit for.
Yeah.
But I also, he did make Deuce Bigelow.
I feel like when this movie starts, you're like, oh, this is awesome, because it like gives you, like, it's kind of wacky and it's like unique and pretty clever to begin with, but then you kind of realize that like it stops and then it has like nothing more to offer you, and that's just what the entirety of it is.
Yeah.
And it gets old kind of fast.
Yeah, it crawled.
It starts off very charming, and the charm wears off.
Yeah, they didn't like take it anywhere else. They're just like, we're going to do this for the entire movie.
I mean, it was pretty tight too, right? It was like an hour 26 or something like that.
It felt longer. Like towards the middle, it just started getting like convoluted with them like going to the island and like doing their thing, and then like fucking paddleboarding back to LA. Like, how far was it? Did they travel like 100 miles on surfboards? I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, that was confusing. But I feel like if you were a kid, you wouldn't even care. You'd just be like, "Oh, they're here now! Yay!"
Yeah. They track their progress with a battleship.
Yeah,
from the Battleship board game.
Anything else that's truly failed about this? Because I feel like
I don't have a lot of specific failures. It just wasn't fun.
Yeah, it wasn't bad enough to have tons of failures. It wasn't good enough to have successes, and it was barely, enjoyable enough to have a lot of favorite parts.
I have a question about Leslie Nielsen's lair.
Okay.
It was like an underground cave mini golf course. Like, where the fuck was it? And like,
why didn't he stay there?
Yeah, what was the purpose of it?
To torture all those men who were all strung up.
It was so creepy.
Yeah, it was really uncomfortable how kind of real those tortures spots looked.
That was my top risk. I was like, this looks like a legit torture chamber.
This is Leslie Nielsen's personal torture chamber.
Yeah, I can imagine that would actually probably be creepy and appealing to kids, like that atmosphere. Yeah. Like, I bet you that's what really solidified him as a bad guy to the audience for the movie, which was putting him in that atmosphere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Giving him that air.
But then they just, like, at the same time, they kept giving him, like, these comedic undertones, like the phone thing.
Where he couldn't pick up the phone on time. Yeah. Because that was funny.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
But it kept happening. And it was just like, know what he is, you know?
Yeah.
And they didn't.
No.
I had one more risk.
What's up?
I don't know if we're just moving on to risks.
Do it.
At the end, when I almost said Tum Tum, when the older brother is fighting Leslie Nielsen's character, and the younger brother is fucking up his like computer, his like robot hand with his glove, and he makes him like grab his dick. That was so weird.
That was really strange.
You know, it was so weird.
It was like a huge, obvious bulge. Like he was grabbing dick.
And he was enjoying it.
And then he like jerked it.
Yeah, there was a lift and there was a twist.
So he grabbed his cock in a kid's movie.
And they like showed it, like not from afar, like a wide shot. They were like
dick
close up on the crotch. Wiggle it again.
And then
all right.
Old man like gasping in pleasure.
Oh, so weird.
Also, we saw Rob Schneider's giant purple dick.
Oh, that's right. We saw his.
It wasn't giant. It was pointy.
It was very pointy.
Listen, I
very
confuse pointy
conical.
with giant when it comes to penises.
It's very conical.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Barney dick.
We can go over our favorite parts. I mean, this is probably going to be a brief discussion of favorite parts. I know we have one collective moment, if we'd like to talk about that.
You talking about the stairs?
Yeah, I'm talking about the stairs.
You mean 3 collective moments?
The only joke this movie got right. Like, really.
No, that is not true, Tom. They ended this movie really well. And you may not have liked this part, but I fucking loved it. No. Before that.
Even bookended before?
Before that, right? So one of the earliest scenes is when they go surfing, right? Mm-hmm. And they take out the ninja that was trying to kill them in the water. And he comes up with the tide, and then he goes back into the water with the tide. I was like, if this is how this movie's going to be the entire time, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do it.
That was like
until
oddly
the end.
Weekend at Bernie's of them.
Yeah. It was so perfect because the kid was knocking down the sandcastle, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the ninja guy slides up behind him.
And the dog is just like, oh.
The dog looks at him, and then he slides back in with the tide. It was perfect.
No, that was great. That was a funny moment, too. But the stairs.
The stairs was the best.
There was this, big fight that they were always going to. They would always get to this one character who was by these steps, and he'd always get pushed down the steps, and it would cut to a wide shot, super wide shot. What are those steps called? What are those called? Those steps?
They're like
think
the
they're called-
monastery steps in like Tibet where there's like a billion of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
And it would just cut to this extreme wide shot of this dummy falling down the stairs.
And they did it three
did it three
times.
and it was
they
perfect.
graced us with that 3 times.
And right at the end, too.
Well, the best part about it was on the third one, he totally Jazzy Jeffs himself and throws himself
True.
down the
You know, the
steps.
DJ.
And that was the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one had the best dummy action. I mean, I guess if I'm going to pick a favorite part from this movie, it would be when our main character starts to realize he actually has the capabilities.
That was a good part.
And it was started playing, what's that song? What's that classical song that was playing?
Ode to Joy?
Oh,
I think
yes.
that's what
Yep.
they used?
It was playing that as he started to realize his power, and he did a really good job at it. Just kind of being surprised with what he's capable of, and like kicking and being like, "Oh my god, yeah!"
I love the surprised look on his face the whole time he was kicking people's asses.
Yeah, that was great.
That was convincing.
I'll give that movie credit there. Mostly the actor, I think, more than the movie.
Yeah. This has some very excellent child acting.
Yeah, totally agree.
Pretty much it for my favorite parts.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of which, I know we had discussed the little kid Adam slams. I do have one of them written down. I know we had other ones, but I don't remember what they were. But there's a point where Satch sneaks into the house where they're being kept for safety. And he's like, look how easily you guys could have been killed. And the little kid just goes, I'm 11 years old. Give yourself a pat on the back. Like, I feel like the delivery was on point. The line was on point. And it's surprisingly refreshing for a movie to be self-aware of the fact that, yeah, he is 11 and he could get killed very easily by ninjas.
I love when kids are actually funny in movies because
It's
I
such
feel
rarity.
like so often they try to like shoehorn comedy into children and it never is effective.
Yeah. I think the kid that was doing the acting had some very solid comic sensibilities.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he got it.
There's one other favorite part that I think we all collectively had that we forgot to mention when Tone Loc says he swallows his handcuff keys every Tuesday.
That was great.
Just in case he gets handcuffed by somebody else.
He swallows them
perfect.
every Tuesday.
Every
Swallow it
Tuesday.
every
yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess what had happened was they had taken him captive on the boat, and they had handcuffed him there so that he could be on the boat with them. And all of a sudden, he just comes out uncuffed, walks out the door, and the character's like, "Hey, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, I just
Swallow my keys.
Yeah, I swallow my keys." Like I do
Last
every
Tuesday.
last Tuesday. Why'd you swallow your keys? I
Swallow it every Tuesday.
Exactly. Tone Loc was excellent.
He was great. He
Always.
should have gotten more appearance, more time on screen, and he didn't.
Yeah. Is it time to rate this? So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
fuck
I'm gonna
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck yeah!
I'm going to give it a big old fudge off.
A big old fudge off?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
Like they had me at the beginning and then they brought me right back in at the end, but they just missed me entirely in the middle. I was so bored.
Yeah,
me
I
too.
feel like they veered off of what was making the rest of it enjoyable, and it just focused too much on like their stupid destiny and their village and.
Yeah.
It was like
in Parmesan.
it was like they tried too hard with the humor too, and they didn't really have to. Like if they had just toned back the dialogue of humor and just stuck with the guy falling down the stairs or the tide coming up on the beach and the guys coming up with
physical stuff.
physical stuff, physical comedy. That they obviously had it. They just didn't continue it throughout.
Because the movie was colorful enough. They could have just... Because there's your appeal right there.
Yep.
Not Rob Schneider's like one-liners that were reaching a mile to actually make like a connecting joke.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's, like they pained me at some moments, man. Pained me.
I think I'm gonna give this movie a fudge off too.
Fudge off? So 2 fudge
Yeah.
offs?
Yeah, double fudge for me.
So...
It didn't live up to my childhood memories of it. I totally agree. It had me in the beginning, and it's so weird because all the memories I had of this movie were probably from the first half hour. And then it was totally fuzzy. I don't remember much about it. I was probably just as bored as a child during the middle and end of this.
That makes sense.
So,
Yeah. I
a 10-year-old kid might like it. Maybe, if they're into like surfing.
Yeah,
Or ninjas.
I feel like this one didn't date itself as much as Three Ninjas did. I feel like this one you could probably watch more.
I felt like they did
nowadays.
such a good job of like making the characters unique and like multi-dimensional and like funny, and then they just didn't do anything with it after that.
Yeah. Well, I guess actually, I know we're in the middle of ratings and everything, but we didn't really talk about if the movie was successful for kids at the time, even though you said yes, right? You liked this movie. I feel like, yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I don't know how it did financially, but I did enjoy this movie when I saw it when I was a kid.
I think 8-year-old Eric would have been all over this.
Yeah, I agree. I would have enjoyed this.
So maybe it's something you just had to catch when you were a kid.
And do you think, I think this movie has more of a chance of holding up today than Three Ninjas does, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the tech is dated. You know, the kids carrying around a magical Game Gear.
Oh,
It's
that's right.
literally
He
a
did have the
Gear.
Game Gear.
But I mean, like, you could just be like, yeah, it was an old video game console, whatever. You could explain that pretty easily.
That one, that works though. That's like a handheld thing, you know.
You could easily just say, oh, it's an iPhone. It's an
like a
enchanted
DS,
iPhone.
Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
They should remake this movie.
You could remake this and it would be really good.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly plausible thing. It's just flawed in execution.
Ditch Rob Schneider.
I stand where I stood before, though. Like, if you call a movie Surf Ninjas, there better be some surfboard ninjas.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see some people fighting on surfboards, not people just surfing and then fighting on land.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that level in the Turtles in Time video game for Super Nintendo where you're in the
God,
sewers.
I forgot that there was that.
And you go that level was awesome.
It was so hard, though.
Oh, it was tough.
Big Apple.
3 a.m. I don't know about that thing.
I'm gonna give this movie a go fudge yourself. I wish I liked it more. It's
Tom hated it.
it was pain. Like it was like if I had a child and they loved this movie and I had to watch this movie a lot, I'd be pissed a lot. I'd be really because I used to.
You were like grunting so annoyedly through the
Like
entire thing.
lots of deep sighs, and I mean, like I understand now because when I was a kid, I used to watch Wayne's World like 3 times a day, and one day my mom just took it away. She's like, "You're done," and now I understand. Like for things, movies like this, man, if you just keep playing them too much, I totally get it. So yeah, go fudge yourself, movie. Eric, what do you got?
Give it a fudge off.
So 3 fudge offs and a fudge yourself.
Yeah,
fudge right off yourself.
I wanted to like this more, and I was kind of forcing myself to like things that maybe weren't as good as I thought it was. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I was taken by the concept. I was taken by the charm of like the first 20 or so minutes. The fight scenes were excellent, which I think adds a lot to its favor. But overall, it just the comedy fell flat, and this like the middle area fell flat too.
Yeah. So overall, what did we like more, Three Ninjas or Surf Ninjas?
I think on its actual merits, I think Surf Ninjas is a much better movie, but as a group viewing experience, Three Ninjas takes it all the way.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Surf Ninjas, better movie. Three Ninjas, more fun viewing experience.
For sure.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
In the moment, I would say yes. Three Ninjas first, Surf Ninjas second. But I'm telling you, man, like I feel like Surf Ninjas could have had us all.
Yeah.
Like in not just in. I feel like if they had delivered like they did in the opening and the closing, I would still want to watch I want to watch this all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. So.
Yeah, this one had the potential for more rewatch value, but it just didn't get there though, and that's why it's extra frustrating, is because it was almost there.
I mean, the characters that are likable are really likable. The jokes that are funny are really funny, and the action scenes that are done well are done really well. Like it accomplishes a lot, but unfortunately, the things that detract from it really detract from the good parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the first 20 minutes, it's like, oh, this is refreshing, and then it's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, they really ran out of steam.
Yeah, it's like when we open up the pizza box and we're like, yeah, the pizza looks good, and then we open up the chicken parm and we're like, oh no, the movie mirrored the meal.
It did.
Oh no.
Parmesan.
Any final thoughts on Surf Ninjas?
Ninja failure.
Ninja failure.
Well,
it was a surf ninja failure. I wouldn't say overall ninja failure.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I meant the night as a whole.
Oh,
was a ninja failure.
Oh, all right. That's fair.
That's a fair assessment.
So don't worry, guys. I'll pick a good Godfrey Ho movie next time.
Oh, thank God. All right, so that's it, right? We're done? We're wrapping it up?
We're done.
All
I know
right.
you want us to leave.
All right, get the hell out. All right. This is Second Class Cinema. We watched Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain first, and then we watched Surf Ninjas after that. We got Three Ninjas on Stream Picks, and then we watched Surf Ninjas on YouTube, which is probably a big no-no, but whatever.
Was the High Noon title a little nod to like the Western thing?
Yeah,
in the movie.
I think so.
High Noon.
So unnecessary. It's like the longest title of all time.
I'm having such a difficult time keeping the entire title of this movie.
It would have been funnier.
Me too.
It would have been funnier if they did like Shanghai Noon.
Shanghai Noon at
Mega Mountain.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been way better. And then they didn't even have to call it a Three Ninjas movie. They could have just called it Shanghai Noon at Mega Mountain.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
And then all was right with the world.
And then just don't make the movie.
And, then and you're done.
Just make a trailer.
And just for the record, Rocky will never love Jennifer. He loves Emily.
Amen.
Fair enough. Yeah, so I guess we wouldn't really recommend Three Ninjas, but Surf Ninjas probably has potential for someone to actually enjoy in this day and age as a child. So all you kids out there.
I mean, there are people that really love Surf Ninjas, so I'd say, you know what? Your mileage
grew up
may
with some
vary.
people.
Some people might have a higher
Yeah.
tolerance
Yeah.
for like shitty
Rob Schneider?
one-liners. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I don't, unfortunately, not in this movie. But yeah, that's it. So if you want some more information on Second Class Cinema, you can visit us on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn. We're on FatFootFilms.com, who is sponsoring Kids Movie Month. Yahoo! On that site, you can find other great content. They have a new movie out, How I Dumped My Ex-Boyfriend's Body. You can now watch the 48-hour short movie that is finally up there now. So go check that out. That was a fun time. So yeah, FatFootFilms.com. We're backlogs of episodes on there as well. I think that's the list of stuff. We just interviewed Matt Jaisley, director of Back from Hell. We had a really cool time with him. You can check out that interview on our Podbean site, which secondclasscinema.podbean.com.
Really cool guy.
Yeah.
Listen to the interview, watch some of his movies.
For sure. I definitely want to check out the Necrophiles now.
Yes, after that Baby's Revenge video.
What the fuck was that?
I'm not sure, but
Guys,
this guy's awesome.
right now.
I'm definitely going to watch this stuff. But yeah, I guess that's all she wrote. Hiya.
Ninja.
Good night.
Ninja.
Ninja.
Hiya.
Ninja.
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 Ninja, ninja, ninja,
Go
ninja,
ninja, go
ninja,
ninja, go.
ninja, ninja, ninja.